Ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi, welcome to another episode of Yoruba for me. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí abala Yoruba for me mìíràn. Today we'll continue our partial contraction rules. You remember the last time we look at the partial contraction with ending vowel being the same with the beginning vowel of the next word. Ending vowel of a word is the same as the beginning vowel of the next word, and we just said that is just deletion of one of the vowel because they are the same. There is no battle, but the tone still battle. Today we're going to be looking at E and other vowel. E and other vowel. So when we say E and other vowel, it means that E is in one of the word. It could be the ending word that has E or the beginning word that has E, but the E only appear once. It could be for the word that ends with E, or it could be for a word that begins with what? E. Whether it's ending or beginning, it means that there is E with other vowel. So if the E ends, then the beginning vowel will be other vowel. It can be A, E, O, or U, not E again. But even if, and the other case could be that the ending vowel is other vowel, the ending word is other vowel, and the beginning word is now begins with what? E. So it could be E with E as the word that begins, or E as the word that ends. As long as E is not on both sides, then this rule applies, and I'm going to tell you what the rule is. So if E is not appearing at both sides, it's just appearing at one side, then what happens is that E gets deleted. So if the E appears in the beginning word, it gets deleted. The other vowel will win. But even if E is beginning the next word and the other word ends without E, then E still gets deleted. Whether it's ending or is a beginning vowel, it gets deleted. E is weak. Just look at it that way. E is what? E is weak. So, and we have the tone still stay the same. Whether the E, if that E gets deleted and it has higher tone, if the tone is higher, then that tone still wins. So irrespective of whatever where the tone is, the tone still the rules of tone is the same anywhere. Okay, so let's look at some example. Look at this one now. We have me, de, me. Can you see the reason why we did some blending before? Me is what? De. Re mi is what? Re mi. Ile. Re mi. Ile. De. Ile. So now let's look at this one now. Let's look at how the rule works, and that means this is where the E stays. The E is the beginning word, but other vowel is what ends this word. Okay, the other vowel wins. So that means that this will stay. E gets deleted according to the rule. Can you see? E gets what? Deleted. So E gets deleted, A will stay. Now let's look at the tone battle. We have me and re. Which one wins? If you say me, that's correct because re is the least, me is the highest, and do is in the middle. Okay, so because the battle is between high and the lowest, the high will have it. That's so in this situation, E gets deleted, A wins, the same tone wins again. So that will be what? It becomes mi. De ile means de ile now turns to dele, mi. You can see the contraction now. This has gone. That's the parojede, and the tone battle mi wins. So that's what? Dele, de ile, dele. Mi, re mi now turns to mi, dele. Now let's move to the next one. Look at the next one. What does that say? This one is what? Mi, si, do, okay, si, okay, si, okay. Now you can see this part, E becomes the beginning word. Can you see the beginning word? Here, E is the ending word. In both cases, E gets deleted. okay, because this is other what? Other vowel. So this other vowel does what? It wins. This other vowel does what? It wins. So it's going to be O that will stay, right? Now let's look at, now that we know which one that is stay, E is getting deleted. Now let's look at the battle between me and do. Which one do you think will win? Remember, me is the highest, right? So me wins, do doesn't win. So do gets deleted off because me is winning. All right. So it's going to be what? O wins. Can you see? O wins. You can see. O wins here, but me wins here. So we're going to combine me and O, and that turns to what? Me do. So K. So C O K turns to so K. Can you see? This one is no longer sounding there, and E is no longer sounding there. It's now so, this me with the O. So K. So K. So the rule is do the battle of the vowel first and do the battle of the tone. That makes it easy. That makes it what? Easy. So C okay becomes what? So K. Now let's look at this one. Me, T, me, O, T, O, me, T, O. Now look at this one now. Let's do the battle of what? E and O. We remember E is weak, so O wins, right? Now let's look at the battle of the tone. What's that? Me and me, there's no battle because they are the same rank. So we just stick to one of them, right? There's no battle. What do you think it's going to be? Can you try to sound it? If you say to, then you get it. T-O becomes what? To. To, that's me. O wins because E gets deleted. E is weak. Now let's look at the final one. And that's what? Lu, lu, lu. That's re, lu, then do, do. Do, do. That's what? Do, do. Ilu, ilu. Lu, ilu. Re, do, do. Lu, ilu. Now let's look at it. If you look at the battle, which one is weak in the vowels? Which one is weak? E is weak, so E gets out. We throw it out of the house. So that's what? U. U does what? U wins. Now let's look at re and do. Which one wins? If you say do, you are right because re is the weakest. Okay? Now that's what? This one wins and this one wins. What do you think that will be? And we have do already. Lu. That will be what? You can see. Can you try to pronounce it? If you say lu, lu, you are right. Now it's do, do, lu, 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 lu. You are correct. If you say lu, lu, you are correct. That's about it for us. I have this short quiz. Idonwo kukuru. Pause it. Do your contraction and see how you will use the second part of our contraction, E and other vowel. Put your comments, your answer in the comment section. You can just put number 1 this, number 2 this, then I'll look at them, and I'll put some notes on how you can copy some vowels, and that will help you in typing the right one or copying it and pasting it there. All right, that's about it for our class today. Maturi nigba miran. Before that, don't forget to like, share, and what? And subscribe. Maturi nigba miran. Ó dàbọ̀.